What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media, bringing Ravens content every single day. If you want to see that daily Ravens content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the notification bell as well if you want to get notified every single time I upload a brand new video. In this video today, it's a mock draft sort of Monday. It's mock draft Tuesday. Normally it's on Monday, but yesterday some things came up about Lamar Jackson, so we had to talk about it. We had a live show last night. Check out the Apple Podcast. Check out the live stream on YouTube. However you want to listen or watch, go right ahead. But today's mock draft is special. Normally I do it in the circumstances of, hey, this is how we're, as the team stands right now, as the hiring stand right now, this is how I would draft with no trades. This one I decided, we've been doing that every single week. Let's mix it up. Lamar Jackson just requested a trade. Let's do a draft, assuming Lamar Jackson is traded and assuming he gets traded for future picks, right? Or future asset, or he gets traded for a player and future ones and stuff like that. So we're doing the Ravens' current draft picks as if Lamar is gone. And the assumption is we would get more, obviously, but I just kind of wanted to show my thought process of, okay, how do we build the Ravens after we lose our franchise quarterback? Because a lot of people are asking that in the live stream. McConnell, what would you do? This is what I would do. Let me know in the comment section down below your guys' thoughts and opinions on my mock draft. Again, this is not even thinking whatsoever that Lamar Jackson is going to be here this season. Okay? So keep that in mind with all of these selections. First overall, Bijan Robinson. Like I said, this is plenty for Lamar to be gone. So the reason why I went with this is my assumption is if Lamar leaves, this year is a tank year. And not tank is in the worst team in the NFL, but it's not a contending year, okay? It's going to be a mediocre year. Potentially, you could sneak into the playoffs, but not really believing in anything. And J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards really only have 1 year left on their contracts, so they could both be gone. So when we get our new future quarterback, which I think would be next year, we would have a superstar running back. And yes, I fully believe Bijan Robinson is a superstar running back. We would have him ready to go with a very good offensive line. Todd Monken would already have gotten, used to the, his abilities and figure out how to game plan with him. And I think Bijan Robinson is by far the best skill position player in this draft. He's probably the best offensive player in this draft. Actually, not probably. He is the best offensive player in the draft. He is the best player in this draft. I'll go that far. I think you could argue a couple of players, maybe a Will Anderson of sorts, maybe a Jalen Carter if he hadn't had some of the issues, in the weight gain and stuff like that. But Bijan Robinson is him. Okay. He is somebody that would transcend this team. And again, if Lamar is gone and this is kind of a rebuilding year, retooling year, I think Bijan Robinson would be a must. So then we don't have to re-sign J.K. Dobbins. I don't want to pay a running back when you can draft someone, rebuild, retool, and go after it next season. Next up, round 3, pick 86. I went with Xavier Hutchinson, wide receiver out of Iowa State. This is a wide receiver that I really like. He's about 6'3", just under 6'3". He ended up running a 4.5 40-yard dash or high 4.5, low 4.6. And I think he's just a really solid big body wide receiver. And again, he's not somebody that's going to come in right away and dominate. But again, if this is a retooling year, if this is a rebuilding year, getting a big body wide receiver to kind of develop into what Todd Monken wants. Again, he's taught some big body wide receivers, right? Most notably Mike Evans. Try and get him to mold him into the type of player that he wants and put him alongside Rashad Bateman and Devin Duvernay and James Prochet. So when the Ravens get their quarterback next year, they're ready to go after it. Again, this is a hypothetical mock draft. I don't want people coming after me thinking I want Lamar gone. I don't want Lamar gone. But this is a draft to prepare if he is gone. I don't know what round this is. I think it's round 4, pick 124. But pick 124, I went with Ronnie Hickman, safety out of Ohio State. This is a big-bodied safety that is going to attack the ball. And I think after we lost Chuck Clark, getting depth in that secondary, we already have like the deep safety and Geno Stone in terms of depth, but let's get a guy that can come into the box and hit people. And I think that's kind of what Chuck Clark was doing with the Ravens, was playing close to the line of scrimmage. I think Ronnie Hickman could come in and be a similar type of player. Again, next year, I'm not expecting him to come in and year one dominate. This is a player where, hey, we get him in the right system, we develop him. Next year, when we have more draft picks and we have, ton of cap space, what can we do with that? Next up, pick 157. This is a guy I've drafted plenty of times. This is Chandler Zavala, offensive guard out of NC State. This is somebody who's played left guard, very good at it. Does the team ran the football like they were one of the best rushing teams in the country with him. Then they lost him due to injury, and they were one of the worst teams in the country running the football. He made a difference on that offensive line. He's been a starter for a very long time, and I think he's somebody that could help compete at that left guard spot, which we don't know who's going to start. Right? It could be Ben Cleveland. Could be Patrick McCarry, could be Tristan Colon Castillo. We really don't know who's vying for that spot after Ben Powers is left. I believe he signed to the Denver Broncos. Chandler Zavala could come in and try and contend for that spot. And finally, pick 199. I had to get myself a quarterback. All right. And this is not saying that this player would be our future quarterback. This is hey, we could try and start him this year. If it doesn't work out, he could be our backup in the future. Okay. And this is somebody that I really like in the draft as a sleeper. He probably doesn't fall to the 6th, but I want Jake Haener out of Fresno State. Not crazy flashy. He's someone who's smart. He is a game manager. That is what he is. He is not going to come in and turn into Patrick Mahomes. He's not going to be Josh Allen. He's not going to be Lamar Jackson. He's going to be a game manager. All right. And for a backup quarterback, game manager can be really good. And he would be very inexpensive. And I think it's worth taking the pick on somebody that at Fresno State was just a very smart football player that helped keep them in games and help win them games when he doesn't have the best arm. And I think he will be drafted. I think he's a slept-on quarterback in this draft. I like him a lot more than guys like Stetson Bennett and guys like Malik Cunningham. I think he has a legit future as a backup and could potentially be, a fringe starter. And we could just try him out for a year. Again, it's a 6th round pick. If he's not our future, that's totally fine. Next year, draft your quarterback, sign your quarterback, do whatever, and keep him on the bench. But I think, drafting someone like a Jake Haener, I wasn't going to draft quarterback, but he fell to me, and I was like, okay, we'll draft him. I wouldn't take a quarterback no matter what in the 6th round. But if someone falls to you like a Jake Haener, I would take him because I think he would be good enough to potentially start, maybe even from day one. But he would at least compete with a guy like Tyler Huntley. Like from day one, he would compete with Tyler Huntley. He may start over Tyler Huntley from day one. That's my draft. If Lamar Jackson leaves, Bijan Robinson, Xavier Hutchinson, Ronnie Hickman, Chandler Zavala, and Jake Haener. Thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe for Daily Ravens content. And it's almost baseball season. Let me know your guys' baseball team. I'm an Atlanta Braves fan, if you guys can't tell. I'm assuming most of you are Orioles fans. But thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe for Daily Ravens content, and I'll see all of you again tomorrow.